Hello and welcome to That's the Story. We've got prizes, we've got stories, we've got songs, we've got competitions. Hold on to your hats, everybody. We've got a lot to get through. Let's start it off with a funny little cartoon about being bothered.
Of course, Jemima had no idea it would all come to this. Who could? Jemima was sitting on the couch in the sunroom, looking out at the rain. She was fading fast. You could actually see through her now like she was a ghost. It happened on Sunday afternoon. It was raining. Jemima was bored and really couldn't be bothered, well, doing much of anything, really. She really couldn't be bothered with her colouring in books, couldn't be bothered at all with another video, could seriously not be bothered with another video game, and as far as her dolls, no, she couldn't be bothered. She couldn't be bothered playing, couldn't be bothered singing, reading, writing, or even painting. In fact, Jemima couldn't even be bothered being anymore. And it was at around about 3:30 on this rainy Sunday afternoon, when boredom had made up a rather comfy four-poster bed for itself and was here for the duration, that Jemima had begun to fade. She needed some help. Jemima's mum had got on the phone.
Yes, she's starting to fade. Yes, can't be bothered. Yes, that's right, yes, bored. Righto, bye.
Moments later, there was a knock on the door.
Hello, yes, Bartholomew Bothered here, a botherologist, at your service. Where's the patient?
And Jemima's mum directed the botherologist Bartholomew Bothered to her daughter.
Hello, what seems to be bothering you?
And Jemima explained how it was a rainy day and there was nothing to do. And the doctor of botherology agreed that indeed that 3:30 on a rainy Sunday afternoon can be a little bothersome.
So, your mother's telling me that you've got Fijo a crumble and chocolate ice cream for pudding after dinner, yes?
Jemima's eyes lit up.
And straight after that, your favourite TV program's on, yes?
Jemima's eyes got even wider.
And haven't you got swimming tomorrow and little David's birthday party on Tuesday, and then there's the school holidays to look forward to. Your birthday's not that far off, and then of course there's Christmas.
Jemima was sitting upright and fully visible again. She'd stopped fading away and could be bothered again. She got out her crayons and started making young David next door a birthday card.
Oh, thank you, Doctor.
And the botherologist left, leaving Jemima's mum with a bothersome bill.
Don't know if I can be bothered paying that. Who is it?
The Bother Brothers from Bothersome Debt Collection. Now about that bill.
Oh, blimey. I don't think I'll ever say I can't be bothered ever again. Now, if you'd like to win a little bit of a prize for your classroom, one of these books, all you have to do is try and guess when in history it is that I'm talking about. Here come some clues. From these clues, I want you to try and guess when in history it is that I'm talking about. Here they come.
When in history am I?
On February the 1st of this year, the very first volume of the Oxford English Dictionary was published. On September the 23rd, American Herman Hollerith patents his mechanical tabulating machine, the beginning of data processing. Eleanor Roosevelt was born, and William Gladstone was the British Prime Minister.
When in history am I?
Alrighty, if you know when in history that was, then head along to our website, that'sthestory.co.nz. Click on Contact Us and you can send your answer from there. The first correct answer will win one of these books. Now, who likes going to the dentist?
Charlie flicked through the magazine in front of him and looked about nervously. Half a dozen people sat on the hard plastic chairs in the waiting room. He bit on his already very nibbled fingernails. He hated going to the dentist. Charlie's fears hadn't been helped when he'd arrived at the clinic with his mum. As she told the curly-haired receptionist their names, the receptionist, Sue, it said on her name badge, peered down at Charlie. She snarled. Yes, snarled. The dentist has just got a new chair delivered. It's very special. I'm sure you'll like it. Then she gave a sly little wink at the end, which sent a shiver down Charlie's spine. His mum didn't seem to notice anything was wrong, but Charlie was alarmed. As is often the case, the appointments were running late, and each time the loud clock ticked another minute, Charlie grew more anxious. What could be so special about the new chair? From the direction of the dentist's room came the most alarming noise. Oh, yikes! Surely that couldn't be the dreaded drill he'd heard his friends talk about. It was so loud. Then came a big crash. Thud. Charlie was terrified. What on earth was happening in there? Maybe it was something to do with the chair. Maybe it was some new high-tech scary dentist device that gripped you and pinned you down while silvery machines drilled through your teeth. The noises grew and Charlie looked around frantically. No one else in the waiting room seemed to be bothered. His mum was browsing through Woman's Weekly, the old couple opposite were engrossed in a discussion about the price of Kumara, and the teenage girl behind him was nodding away on her iPod. The curly-haired receptionist was looking over at Charlie, and yes, she definitely was giving him funny winks. Charlie was getting really scared now and started to panic. Oh no, it's all one big plot against me. Everyone's in on it. Maybe the dentist chair has turned everyone into aliens or something. Normally, Charlie wouldn't be so irrational, but the noises were so loud and so terrifying. The dentist door opened and a skinny man left clutching his jaw. Is Charlie here? Inquired the dentist. You're next. Gulping, Charlie stood up and walked over to the dentist's room. Bang, bang, bang. Noises got louder with every step. Why was no one else bothered by them? As he passed the reception's desk, Sue winked again. Enjoy the chair, she cackled. As Charlie entered the small room, he was amazed to see in front of him the shiniest, plushiest, most comfy black leather chair he'd ever seen. On one arm was a pop-out screen with a racing game to distract patients from the treatment. And a glossy gadget magazine was tucked down one side, along with a huge stash of lollies for when the dentist had finished. Charlie sunk down into the chair and looked up at the big poster of a stunning Northland beach stuck to the dentist's ceiling. This wasn't scary at all. I hope those noises didn't bother you, said the dentist. We're renovating the room next door and the builders are very noisy. Oh, Charlie breathed with a sigh of relief. I hadn't even noticed any noises. Now it all made sense. But what about the evil receptionist? Had she just been trying to scare him? There was a tap on the door and Sue the receptionist entered, clutching some papers. Here's Charlie's file for you, Doctor, she said, rubbing her eye. Stupid builder's dust. It's been bothering me all morning. Your patients must think I'm very strange with all this winking.
If you can draw me a picture of your visit to the dentist and send it in to me, it would be awesome. So draw a picture of the dentist, have your teacher take a photo of it. Head along to our website, that's thestory.co.nz, click on Contact Us and you can upload your picture from there. We'll show it on one of our future shows, but what's more important, you're into winning a $100 art pack from Gordon Harris. Goodness gracious me, it's quite cool too. Now, let's have a little adventure with Norit and Milo.
Norbit and Milo's Knock Knock.
Hey Norbit, I've got a joke for ya. I'm sure you do, Milo. Knock knock. Alright, who's there? To who? It's to whom, not who. You should know that, Norbit. Oh, really, Milo?
Crikey, they're a really weird pair, aren't they? Now, if you would like to write a story and send it in to us, we could get it produced and played on the show. Kate, from one of our classrooms, has written and read a story for us. It's called Bad News Kid, and it goes a bit like this. Well done, Kate.
Hi, my name is Kate, and this is my story, Bad News. It's one of the last days of the term, and a notice has just been handed out. Oh no. Big bold letters spread across the page, spelling out parent interviews. This might not be such a nightmare to you, but it is for me. I try to get rid of the last few parent interview memories, but it never happens. Last time was the worst, by far. Ever since that experience, I have always thought it was torture. But the worst thing of all is they make it sound fun. And they say they are looking forward to seeing you. which convinces you to come. The last time was the worst, as I said. I walked into the classroom smiling, but once I sat down, I started to worry. All the last memories flooded into my head. I blushed redder than I have ever blushed before, and when the teacher asked questions, I couldn't even splutter out one single word. My parents were laughing, probably because of the embarrassing sight of their child. Another time was in year 2. It wasn't as bad, but I didn't enjoy it either. I walked into the classroom with my parents and my brother. The good thing is that at this age, the teacher would talk to your parents and not you. So I decided to go play with my brother in the library corner. But in the end, I got in a bit of trouble because I was meant to sit beside my parents.
So remember, if you've got a story that you'd like to send in, just write the story, pop along to our website, that'sthestory.co.nz, click on Contact Us. You can upload your story from there, and you never know, it could be your story we're telling on next week's show. Now, let's have a bit of an alien disco.
Jeremy was hosting a disco. It wasn't just any old disco. This was a special disco for Jeremy's secret alien friends. Jeremy had been allowed to use his older brother John's retro record player. He had to take great care of it. John had also lent him some records. They were old school stuff from the 70s and featured bands like Boney M, ABBA and the Bee Gees. Jeremy had never heard of them, but he was sure the aliens would appreciate their danceable qualities. Jeremy began to set up his bedroom. He pulled the curtains tightly shut and fastened the flashing Christmas tree lights around the door. Jeremy moved all his bedroom furniture to one side of the room, ensuring plenty of space for the dance floor. Jeremy set up the record player in the other corner of the room. He was going to be the DJ. There was a knock at the door. It was Rata from the planet Sneeze. He'd come dressed in all his disco gear. He wore sweatbands around his 12 foreheads and love beads around his super long and bendy necks.
Bring on the music,
said Rata.
I'm ready to boogie.
As Jeremy flicked through the record selection and chose the first number, there was another knock on the door. This time it was Pilson from the planet Oomph. Pilson was wearing an afro wig. It looked kind of funny perched on top of his long and pointed cone-shaped head, but at least he'd made an effort. Pilson had brought Chortle with him. Chortle was a beautiful specimen from the planet Cleo and was the proud possessor of 42 rubber legs. Jeremy was sure that Chortle would be a great mover once she got onto the dance floor. Are you ready? Jeremy cried out. Here comes track number 1. Jeremy turned on the record player and funky disco beats filled the room. Rata, Pilson and Chortle began to dance. Their wild movements filled up Jeremy's entire bedroom. Rata's 12 heads tossed to and fro on their bendy necks. Pilson rotated his segmented body around and around, and Chortle flung herself wildly about the room on her 42 rubber legs. The aliens were having a fantastic time. Rata was glad he'd worn the sweatbands. It was getting hot at Jeremy's alien disco. Jeremy put on another track. The aliens danced and danced. Considering they'd never even heard of disco before, they were pretty good dancers, Jeremy thought. Time wore on. The aliens danced for hours. Jeremy was a great DJ. But all good things must come to an end, and Jeremy knew that his dinner would soon be ready. This is the last track, Jeremy yelled out, so make the most of it. The aliens did. Pilson grabbed hold of 21 of Chortle's 42 legs and spun her madly in the air. Rata did a bit of robotics and then broke into breakdancing, rotating upside down on his 12 heads. Jeremy cheered, and when the record came to its end, the alien disco dancers collapsed into an exhausted but happy heap. Jeremy turned off the flashing Christmas tree lights and opened his bedroom curtains. Better get this room tidied up before Mum sees it, he said to himself as he began to put his bedroom furniture back into position. Jeremy's alien disco had been a huge success.
That's my lot for another week. Thanks ever so much for joining me. Don't forget, if you would like to send an artwork in, head for our website, that'sthestory.co.nz, and click on Contact Us. If you would like me to do a shout out to you in your classroom, head for our website, that'sthestory.co.nz, and click on Contact Us. Have a great weekend, and I'll catch you again next week. Until then, ka kite anō.
I wanna hear the one about the big old plum tree. I wanna hear the one about the giggly bumblebee. I wanna hear the one about the juggly jumping flea. That's the story that I wanna hear. That's the story, that's the story, that's the story that I wanna hear. That's the story.